Hi, welcome to Sempa 360. I want to talk about ICC and the fact that Bensouda, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, finally gave up prosecuting or trying to build a case against President Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya, a member of the East African community. I was very relieved, and in fact, we saw the President of Kenya driving out of the State House by himself, quite happy. We're asking questions today. What happened? Does Bensouda and the entire ICC owe Kenya and Africa a major apology for taking and dragging us through many years of unnecessary litigation, defamation, and putting a cloud of suspicion over His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta? Or was it the failure of due process? Was it the intimidation? Or was it the bullying of state witnesses or witnesses that had been called in? We want to ask these questions. Should we go forward with ICC in light of this, or should we pull out of the ICC? Is it a tool of colonial subjugation, or is it an instrument of justice that had good ambitions but has been taken over by the interests of the colonial masters who pay for its bill? I'm discussing this in a Pan-African sense, and we want to find out also the post-election violence in Kenya, 2007-2008. Was it an unnecessary accompaniment of multi-partism? And should we look that the trail of bloodshed and violence that accompany wherever you have multi-partism, should we revisit the question, are multi-parties relevant to the African expression of democracy, or does our own country socio-economic setup require maybe a hybrid or a different form of democracy, maybe something similar to what we see maybe in China or Libya or other countries? We want to discuss this from a Pan-African view, and I'm talking to two people. First of all, my good friend Andrew Irumba Katushabe. He's a Pan-Africanist. He's a host of the debate called Pan-African Live at Fairway Hotel. Good to have you, sir.
Good morning.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Also, I'm having Mr. Joram Bitamanya Apuli. He is a district councillor, South Division, that is based in Fort Portal. He's a member of the FDC, Forum for Democratic Change, NEC, and he's a leader of opposition in Kabare District Council. Joram, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you happen to think that apparently there was a failure of process here. People are celebrating, others are saying, no, ICC owes us an apology. For you are of a different view.
I think ICC tried its best, and it was right to prosecute Uhuru Kenyatta and his allies. But unfortunately, you know how Africans are. They have money, they have manipulated the system, and ICC was basing on state witnesses who were supposed to come from Kenya. And Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the president of Kenya, is in charge of that country. So I don't think there could be any brave person to travel from Kenya to go to ICC and witness against Uhuru Kenyatta. That one could not happen anywhere.
So you think that the witnesses were intimidated?
I believe witnesses were intimidated, and I hear others were bought, others were given jobs, so they could not go and witness against Uhuru Kenyatta.
You say that, you know, Africans are very rich. I
Yes.
find that contradictory, because Europeans are even richer, but I'll come back to that issue. And if they did have an agenda behind a regime change, they had more money at their disposal than the Africans. Irumba, you have a different view. Should we be celebrating? What is your response to this dismissal of charges against President Uhuru Kenyatta because of lack of evidence?
In the first place, Mr. Martin,
Yes.
you need to realize that we have 122 member states in the ICC. First question will run first. How many have been tried by ICC out of all those 122? Second, if we can respond to his allegation that Africans have a lot of money, we are a third world country. We actually depend on the West. So that question cannot rise that Uhuru Kenyatta bought state witnesses. It cannot arise. They have more money than us. It cannot arise anywhere. That's one. Two, Mr. Joram is saying that ICC filed because they were depending on state witnesses. That's a very, very weak point on ICC side. If you have a case against a president, you cannot completely base your investigations on state witnesses that the state should provide you with. How can I produce witnesses to witness against me? So it shows you that there is a weaker point in the ICC jurisdiction, and in the system. You must be able to build your own systems to do your independent investigation. In fact, you should not even depend on any documentation done by the state. No.
Well,
you should do your own investigation based on your own structures.
There is a principle of self-incrimination, avoidance of self-incrimination, and warning you that what you may say, do, that damages you is to your detriment. To me, you come to the issue of jurisdiction. He is a brand new concoction of a justice system, a court that has been set up in The Hague. It's been mooted for a while, since 70s, but with the Rome Statute coming in, I think early 1980s.
They actually, this whole statute started in 2002, 1st July. That's when the ICC began. 2002, 1st July. It's about how many years now? About 14 years.
Yes.
They have indicted about 36 leaders. About 36 leaders, including Joseph Kony, Omar el-Bashir, Uhuru Kenyatta, Gaddafi, Laurent Gbagbo, you know. And right now there is this rebel from Congo who presented himself there. He's called who? I'm forgetting that name. Lubanga. Lubanga. You realize that their biggest interest is in Africa.
That is suspicious.
Yes.
Suspiciously.
Yes. Their biggest interest is in Africa. That's why they are ready to go head on to Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. That's why they are very, very, they are salivating to go for the throat of Liberia's president. They are salivating to go for the throat of Iraq's president, Saddam Hussein. And finally, when you realize, you might think that they are bringing justice to those countries. Has justice prevailed in those countries?
No. In fact, we see greater destruction.
Greater destruction.
Mr.
Bush.
Yeah.
If ICC was really serious, that they want to deal with crimes against humanity and so on, Bush should be inside.
For what?
You remember that
I happen to like Bush myself. But
he said that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They said go and get them. Did he find any?
That may be subject to an investigation. The question, however, there is
more
destruction in Libya.
They did the investigations. Don't say that they did the investigation and resolved that they are. When they allowed them to go in, did they find any? When they did not find any, did they pay for their mistakes?
There is more information now that actually they may have been weapons of mass destruction.
They may.
But I want to come and say